What up, YouTube? Hold on a second. Let's try that again. What's up, YouTube? All right, let's do a few stocks here. It's been a little bit since I've been on here. Everything's been pretty much running. But the first thing that I want to look at here is the one that I've been charting and in a pretty good position in for a bit now, is Sound AI, or SoundHound AI, ticker SOUN. So when I was buying it was around this 260. If you follow me on TradingView, you guys would know that I posted quite a bit about it. So right now it is pushing up towards some previous high resistance. You can see that mainly in this range up here from $5 down to about $4 or $3.96 is a pretty strong range of resistance. So this is the area that we're chilling in right now, and we need to continue to hold above. So right now we've so far had a 4-hour candle close above, and then it closes right back below. Same here, 4-hour closed above, the next one closed above. We want to see a full body candle, at least 4-hour, holding above here, flat on the resistance or previous, like that. Once we can flip this 396 into new support, should be pretty good. Now, in regards to the potential pattern, I have this drawn out on the 4-hour. I got it drawn out from the 15 minutes, so on and so forth. And you can see we've been respecting this broadening wedge. As you see, it's getting bigger and bigger as we get up, and it's pretty much been respecting it to a T, besides this last pullback so far. So if we were to pull back in and bounce off of that level, and we had a pullback in today, we would come back down to about $4. 360 could still be in play, but I don't think that's going to happen today just yet. However, on the 15-minute, we had that bearish divergence right here. You can see we made a high with the price. We made a high with the price action. And then we made our low here. And then when we came up, we made a higher high, because right here we went to 444. And right here we went to 460. And on the RSI, we went up here when we went to the first high at 87, and the second high was only at 82, which made for some bearish divergence. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's only a 15-minute time frame, so take it with a grain of salt. It caused a correction. Same with here, when we were in our ascent, we were making higher high, higher high, higher high, while on the RSI we were making a lower high, lower high, lower high. That caused for some bearish divergence. That caused this drop that brought us back down to about here. So since then, we popped up. We're still making some bearish divergence here, but if we can clear with the RSI, if we can pop up and break above some of those highs, we could possibly, get some further love. That's on an hourly as well. And then on the 4-hour, we did already kind of have our pullback, our bounce, and now we are starting to go back up. Now we're back in the same range of this 430-ish. We had a high of 460. Now if we zoom out though on a daily and see, besides all the smaller time frame, so obviously Sound is, it doesn't have a shit ton of historical price action. It started out up at $17 in 2022. And it pretty much went into a downtrend ever since. It had its first really nice rounding bottom around $1. It ripped up to about 506, and then it continued back down, but it did make a higher low. And ever since then, it's been respecting this longer term downtrending or uptrending support. So that's going to be the key area here, way down there, that makes or breaks this stock eventually, right? If this thing is going to, get a strong rejection off of the $5 level, then we're going to be wanting to watch that long-term uptrending support So depending on when it hits it, if we decide to have a large correction in August, it's down at $3, $3.30. And if we do continue up, we have 2 levels on the upside that I'm watching, which is 506 and 540. If we break 506 and we flip it into new support, we could continue up here and flip. We could come all the way back up to about 870. So that's not too bad. Excuse me. If we took fib extensions, excuse me again. If we took fib extensions on the move, we could take it from this high of 506, bring it to the low that we touched at 99 or $1, sorry, and pull the full extension, which would give us an overall potential target of 1822 in the long run, and in the shorter term here, a high of, anywhere from 760 to 1160. If we do continue on this run, I do believe we are going to continue on this run. So for me, every time we came down to this trend support, I was buying, and then my last purchase I put in was at $3.30, which I was basing it, I think, off of these 2 wicks right here, 335. So we had a wick to 335, we pulled back. We had a wick to 335, we pulled back. So I bought here and I bought here. I did a lot of waiting, and then finally we broke through. We started heading up. We had a pull. I think I bought like here. I was posting about how we just need to close above here, and eventually, here we go. First candle out, second candle right about here, right? 330. Boom. So I bought a 330, and then now I am averaged in somewhere around like 270 or something, 275. That's pretty good, because look where the support is. Obviously, if we came straight down today, then we would go to 277. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we have more time in this pattern. I think we're going to try to reach, at least we're going to try to reach $5 again. At least, but before any pullbacks. And then if we get a pullback, we have a lot of support at 330 still, and then we have a lot of support potentially at $4, especially if we get to 5. People are going to be putting orders at 4 because it's just a nice even number. So anyway, that's a long story on sound. That's one that I really like. Another one that I like, I was posting about it on TradingView. I'm in a position on this, is the Home Depot. Just looking at just this part on the daily, you can see that we had a very nice W pattern. We were chopping around here. We finally got a push off. If we continue up from here, we have, which I believe we will, even if we have a pullback, that's fine. The target of the W pattern is the right there, which brings a target for Home Depot up at 322. That's when I would first start expecting potentially some resistance. If you put a trend line from those first 2 rejection wicks here and here, that also brings you up to about 325 or so. And then if you looked at some of the previous price action up in this general area, I mean, obviously there's a lot of chop in this like little triple top zone, but a lot of the price action went from about 324 down to about 311 or so. So 311.11 to 328, 324. So that'll be kind of some of the resistance. If somehow we can eventually get above that, then we might be looking to retest this 340 or 330 area. But that's what I'm looking at for now. I am just strictly playing this W pattern. You can see this is the first day. Well, not really the first, but if you zoom in here, if we put this on the daily candles right here-ish, we would come up with the daily. We couldn't close any bodies above. This is the first candle body above the 302. So if we just continue up, eventually, if we do have to come back and test this, then that'll be the place to potentially buy. If you want to look at it as like a bull pennant, this would be like the flag. You can do it like that, and then 327. You could do a conservative target and go off of like just right here, and then put this up. That gives you a target of 320, or you can just play this as a potential ascending triangle, and you could just do this target from here, put this up, which gives you a target of 310. So either way, you know, we had a lot of consolidation. We've broken through. Sometimes once you break through, you have to come back eventually here, retest it, consolidate, and maybe move up. But I think the first move should happen, and then we can roll, retest it, and then we can fly. So that would be something just to kind of keep an eye on. Buying it in the 303 to 300. I've been saying that during this consolidation is a very good idea. Actually, I was just starting to talk about it about right here. So it was only about a week since I posted it, and now we finally have pushed through. MU, this is one that I'm really liking right now, because it had a consolidation that broke out, which was right here. And although it's a slower mover, it is, you know, testing this uptrending support, and then it also has this flat support here. So when you're coming in buying stock, some of them have already flown, right? They've blew up like straight up and just continued up. It's riskier to buy it way up here than in fact to buy it at the start of the move. So that's what I'm trying to throw out, is a couple stocks that aren't just out in the moon that you're gonna buy now, and then like 4 months from now, if we get a big correction, you're way underwater. See, this here is right at support of a consolidation that has lasted from July 2022 to about July 2023, but it's June now. But of course, about a year of consolidating. It broke out in May. It's back tested now once, and now it's trying to put in potentially a higher low. If this trend support does break, I wouldn't be too concerned. Just look at the $64 level. But if we were just to continue respecting this support, it's about $64.50. Anywhere from 66, in my opinion, anywhere from about 66 to 64 is a pretty dang good area. And candle bodies say that you can come down to as low as 63 and still be okay, because this is still the consolidation. All the wicks came up to about 64.30, and then all the bodies closed around 63, and then a lot of buyers still continued to step in at 659. But I don't think we'll come to 60, but if we had a big pullback in the market, 60 would be a big pullback, but I would just be buying. But I don't think it's going to come that low. I think we're going to respect either this consolidation in here and just chop on top of here for a while. Even if this broke, we came down, came back up, and then we continued up here within the next 2 months, maybe a month, maybe sooner. And then we can look for it to potentially go up higher. If you want to look at how high could this thing go, if you're a long-term investor, one thing I like to do for these consolidations is take it from the consolidation high, which is like the flat resistance roughly, or the high of the consolidation. We'll call it, I'm going to go by the high right here, because I think most traders would go from the high of the consolidation down to the double bottoms, lows, or the low. So that gives you a pretty good gap. So the 1.618, 75.77, that's about where we hit. If I went off of all the wicks, maybe that's what people are doing. It's going to be within $1 or $2. And then the full extension is $115, 3.618, 105, and the 2.618, 90. So these will be the levels. So if we can break through, if we can confirm this, we can probably push up and start heading towards the 90, which we have to work at the 75, 74 area first. But overall, I think that MU is looking pretty juicy, and it's at like a low, but it's also not in a consolidation anymore. So you don't have to look for, it'll be choppy in here, but I think it's on a breakout. So the next move, once it builds whatever it's building right here, should be a nice push to the upside. So that's MU. What else do I have that I've been liking? AMAT. There it is. AMAT. This one, for me, is one of my favorites. It always was. I didn't buy it in these lows here, but I did start buying it right about on this. No, not there. I bought it right here, right on this back test of this channel. So this was where I was like, you know what? I'm taking the swing. This could be, risky if we fell back in and decided to break through. But for now, I think this is a pretty good chart because we had this rising channel, and then we broke through the rising channel. We back tested it, came up, rejected off the 140, and then we're pretty much consolidating on top of the breakout of the rising channel. So the initial breakout area was roughly about this 125 on a weekend, but I think that we've had a significant push, but not enough to be like, hey, this thing has run too far. It's actually kind of nice and slow, pull back, and it's just building up pressure for the big explosion. So a breakthrough the 140, if we can break through 140, if we put this on here like this, the 140, 130 is pretty strong. We've had a wick up here to about 140, 240, but I think if we can push through and close above and then open above here, that's when we're going to start the rocket. So still, to me, buying any position from 141 down to, we'll just call it wow, that's pretty low. Buying anything from, I like the 136 to 135. That's where I continued buying. I bought more at 136.10. My first purchase, like I said, was about 131. Second purchase, 136.10. And then now we're starting to push back to 140. So this might be on the edge of a breakout today, but if it does get another rejection at 141, as long as we stay above the 130, we should be good. I don't even think it'll go 130. I think as long as we stay above, 133, we should be good. But you can see what it's doing right here. So that's what I'm watching. And this is some pretty critical resistance too. Like anywhere in this 144 to 142, critical resistance. You can see the chop fest that happened here. Eventually, we pushed through. We started to try to consolidate on top, but it just couldn't hold it. So now we're kind of back at that same measly resistance. Will it be able to break through? I think this time it's going to break through, and it's going to back test it, maybe chop, and then I think people are going to think short maybe, and then we'll see what happens if it can get an explosion through. So just keep this one on the radar. Any big significant pullbacks, the biggest support is a 120 if we were to just break through everything, but I think that would look pretty bad unless this just builds like a massive cup and handle. Then that could end up being what ends up happening overall if we do end up not being able to clear any of this 145 area up there. And we could probably look for that, but I think it's going to just continue to the upside on that. So anyway, that's about it for right now. If you guys want me to post more videos, let me know. Leave the like, subscribe, comment. Peace.